Welcome to this session of Social Media Accessibility Basics, created by Sharina Huntsman, Angela Fairbanks, and myself, Lane Amaro. This is a collaborative effort on behalf of the ADA 30 Idaho virtual celebration, celebrating 30 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act, independence, and accessibility. In our previous recording, Angela introduced subtitles and captions with an emphasis on adding captions to pre-recorded video on YouTube. We're going to build upon those principles when we talk about adding captioning to a live stream. Refer back to Angela's recording on plain language principles to dig more into that. But remember that in short, you want to make sure that you're being conversational and using language that isn't too difficult for viewers to understand. And of course, it is important to know your audience, their needs, and of course, what environments they will be viewing your content and on what platforms. Some platforms don't allow for enabling closed captioning in live streams, so know your platforms. One of the questions that I get asked most as an accessibility consultant when it comes to the topic of captioning live streams is, do I really have to? The answer depends. If you are just shooting a live video of something going on in your life as an individual on your personal page, no, you have no requirement to include captioning. However, if your entity or organization is governed by the Rehabilitation Act or Workforce Innovation Act, WIOA, Sections 504 and 508 may be applicable to you if you receive federal funding. And of course, if you are a governmental agency, Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act is applicable. And if you are a place of public accommodation, Title III of the ADA is also applicable. And while the ADA does not have any specific standards or guidelines set forth to conform to digital accessibility, the Department of Justice has repeatedly ruled in favor of complainants who have argued that digital content, including information and videos, are covered by the ADA. And in most cases, the rulings cite the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG, version 2.0, level AA. If you're an agency or organization will broadcast live on television, you are also required to conform to the 21st Century Communications and Video Accessibility Act, CVAA, and any rulings set forth by the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. So let's take a look at this, because most of this is based on the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And Standard 1.2.4 points specifically to captioning live, and it simply states that captions are provided for all live audio content and synchronized video. This is pretty straightforward. So if you are covered by Title II or III of the ADA or Sections 504, 508 of WIOA, this is pretty much a given. The FCC expands upon this to include some things for you to consider as the content creator, the quality the quality standards set forth by the FCC. Accuracy is going to fall on you as the content creator, but the time synchronization and when the text aligns with the spoken word, that falls on the live video player. So whether that's your television or the Facebook Live video player or the YouTube player on youtube.com, synchronization falls to the social media platform. And then again, you are required to make sure that there is captioning from beginning to end, the entire completion of the program. So however long you're live, that's your responsibility to make sure that there's captioning. And then again, things like placement fall back to the social media provider. In addition, social media entities are usually covered and governed by the FCC, and a lot of them are streaming television broadcasts or from television broadcasting companies that are required to meet those same FCC guidelines. So on the technical backside of it, in order to do this, the timing synchronization and the placement of the captions and that sort of thing, they've set their players to meet FCC technical requirements for what are called C608 and C708 format captioning streams. That's the same format that the television receives and decodes if you were to hit turn closed captioning on your television. This ultimately requires then that you're providing your text stream, your captioning in the same format that a broadcaster would. And so the FCC requirements of accuracy and completion are not necessarily applicable because they are applicable only to television broadcast, but they are a good starting point for you. So by this point, people typically figure out in the whole discussion of live that it's not as simple as adding the sidecar SRT or text file to their recording, because the video players require this specific C608 or C708 format. So if your agency or organization wants to meet the same FCC standards as television broadcasters, which is suggested that 99% accuracy is a great thing, you've got to create the text of captions, make sure that they are 99% accurate, identify speakers and identify background and relevant sounds in the video. And that usually requires the talents of a trained live real-time captioner. And because of the technical requirements of the live player on the social media platform and having to get that specific C608 or 708 format, encoding and embedding is required. This typically requires either really expensive encoding software and someone with the technical know-how and training on how to use it and embed that with the stream using your streaming software, or signing up for and using a virtual encoding service. So unfortunately, doing live real-time captioning in a stream is not something you can necessarily do by yourself or on a budget. So the best practice for doing your live streaming, and really this is the simplest way to go about it unless you have someone with that technical know-how and you can afford the $4,000 plus encoding hardware, hire and coordinate with a captioner or captioning service and a virtual encoding service. Unfortunately, neither of these is very cost-effective. If you need to find a captioning service, check out https:// D as in David, C as in Charlie, M as in Mike, P as in Papa, .org / learn /10 captioning service vendors. And for more information on a virtual encoding service, check out https:// eegent.com and look at the Falcon option. It is possible to find captioning services that will do both the captioning and the encoding. AI Media and Telestream are just two examples. So it's important to contact and connect with different captioning services and explore with them what they can do and what's required of you to make sure that you have the technical know-how. So we've kind of established that adding captioning to live streams is a little tricky. And if you're an individual, you're not necessarily required to, but morally and ethically, a lot of us feel like we should. And we did cover how to add captioning to YouTube videos previously. Today, I'm going to have Sharina dig into this a little bit more, but digging into how you can add captioning to your Facebook videos, and particularly to your Facebook live recordings. Facebook makes it pretty easy. Once you have posted the live recording, which happens automatically after your live stops, unless you tell it to delete, instead of publish, you simply click the Actions for this post button at the top right of the post. Click the option to edit the post, and then you'll find the option for Subtitles/CC. You click that, a little box appears and gives you the option to choose how you want to add your captions. You can choose to have Facebook automatically generate them. You can type them or paste in text from a Word document, just paste in the text. Or you can upload a specific SRT file. Again, Angela talked more about SRT files and formatting the text transcripts, which is what we're talking about when we talk about typing your own. So take a look at the previous video, and you can get a refresher on SRT and transcript files. If you choose the automatic captions option or you type your own, you might want to, after doing so, click the review and edit option to make sure that the timing is right. And if it was automatically generated, make sure that the spelling and punctuation and grammar are all correct as well. When you're done, you click close and then save, and you have captioning.
To use Facebook Subtitle Creator and Editor, I have pulled up the ADA Idaho Hands Around the Capitol Facebook page. So here I'm going to choose from the left side navigation, the publishing tools. And under the publishing tools, I'll go ahead and select scheduled post so that I'm not posting my video right away, but it'll give me the opportunity to work through the edits of that video prior to posting it to my page. So once I'm on the scheduled post page, I'll go ahead and create post, which will give me some options. I'm going to select video, since that's the type of media that I want to post. I'm going to upload my photos. My video, which is an introduction, a short one. This video isn't very long. It's about 10 seconds long, so it won't take very long to upload. Sometimes these videos can take 30 minutes to upload, but Facebook will let you know when it's ready to be edited. The first thing that I have to do is create a title. Facebook won't let you post a video without a title, so I'm going to put the social media accessibility basics series, which is what we're constructing. And then once I have that title in there, I can go over to the subtitles and captions selection, and when I select that, it's going to give me three options where I can either auto generate, have Facebook create those for me, and it'll give me the option of editing those subtitles. I can upload an SRT file, or I can go ahead and write the subtitles as they're happening, and it'll give me a text box to do that work. For our illustration, I'm going to show you how to use the auto generator. It's fairly easy. So if I click auto generate them for me, the Facebook software will create them for me, and down here at the bottom it's showing me the percentages it's generating those captions. And again, this one isn't very long, so in the 10 seconds it won't take but a few seconds to create those. Sometimes that can take several minutes. It might give you time to step away or to do another project as you're waiting for those to be generated. As soon as they're available, I get the option to review and edit, which is of course what I want to do, and what you always want to do is to make sure that you have created effective and clear subtitles. So I go ahead and view and edit them. The screen that you see here is giving me a timestamp and showing me how those subtitles will be viewed on the screen, where they're being, where the line breaks are, and how much text is being shown at one time. On to the left side, it gives me a section to go ahead and edit, as I can see from the timestamp when it will be on the screen is from 0.5 to 4.6, so it's not spending very much time on there. I can edit those as I see fit. I can also edit the publishing, the breaks in the lines. I can edit the punctuation, I can edit the spelling, and I can edit the actual words. So one of the things I first noticed on here is my name. My name always has to be corrected. Auto-generate doesn't spell my name correctly, Sharina. And then here on our last one, it doesn't give Lane's name. So I'm going to go ahead and add her name to the post.
Welcome to this
Once I have it all in there, I can go ahead and save that draft. And that will make those subtitles available to anyone who would like to use them when they view my post. The next stage is just going through the publication stage. It gives me the options of adding other materials to any of my posts, and then go ahead and publish that. And that's how you use the auto-generated subtitles and editing function in Facebook.
Thank you for watching, and we are thrilled you're going to be among today's accessibility social trendsetters. Please be sure to check out our other social media accessibility videos for more tools and strategies.